Darian Weeks is a 5-1 welterweight born in Memphis, Tennessee, now fighting out of Sedalia, Missouri with Hullet House and the Body Shop. Not often you see a 5-fight veteran already in the octagon, but the 28-year-old gave a great account of himself in a debut defeat facing a longtime UFC 170-pounder. The two-time IMMAF competitor has a wealth of experience in the amateur ranks, and he'll have a chance to make a name for himself if he can pull off a huge upset at UFC 273. Track back to 2019, Weeks is 5 months off his pro debut knockout in round 2, now looking to double down against Travis Ford, making his own debut at the top level. The Mizzou product fought to a 2-0 record at amateur, with 1 knockout and 1 submission. Early in the first, Travis tries to pick Weeks up with the body lock, but Darian steps over the leg and ends up mounted on top, able to land a hard shot before getting bucked. 30 seconds later, Weeks works that low body lock for a double leg. Minute left in the first, another takedown for Darian, chaining them together, making Ford tire out completely. Then he starts his ground and pound. Seconds later, huge bombs from Mount, and Ford is tired, hurt, and all out of options. Wrestling domination from Darian Weeks to elevate the resume to a shiny 2-0. Second finish from strikes, but first in round 1 for the ground-based fighter. Good game plan employed, looking like Colby Covington against Robbie Lawler, staying busy with the strikes and chaining those takedowns together. Not bothered by a get-up because he wanted the opponent to tire out, defending the constant attacks. 5 months later, looking to go 3-0 to start his young career, up against a tough foe in the form of Blaine Richards out of Julesburg, Colorado with Skywalker 101. Weeks won't have to fight the Force tonight, he wasn't trained by Master Yoda, nevertheless a 2-0 record for the Nebraska Bowl. Action in the first minute, Weeks works out of the guard and returns a big left hand. Opponent up kicking like a madman, and when he tries to snatch a leg, Darian takes the back. Minute and change later, Richard wants that leg again. Instead, Weeks puts him in a guillotine. Doesn't have the squeeze to stop it standing, instead exits with a big knee to the nose. Start of round 2, huge head kick by Darian, but opponent able to quickly fire back a high kick of his own. 2 minutes and change later, Weeks commanding the grappling again as he advances side control to Mount hastily. Gets the ground strikes going, then wants the rear naked choke. Can't get it at that angle, but moments later he adjusts to lock in the submission. Darian Weeks takes him to round number 2 and shows his opponent the door with an RNC. The 26-year-old controlled the fight with his ground game once again, but got a little tired later on, making some mistakes and ending up with his back mounted. It was the only blemish on this night, and when he got a chance to attack, he got the tap. Final MMA fight outside the octagon from February 2021, facing 3-4 Craig Fairley on the UFC doorstep in Legacy Fighting Alliance. Showtime Fairley only stops his opponent's 3 submissions on his record, but loser of his last 3 of 4. First frame, Darian answers the front kick with 2 kicks to the lead leg, inside and out. Fairley not appreciative of those strikes. Minute and a half later, Weeks feints front kick, then lights Fairley up with the punches, hurting him in the process. He's not done though, overhand right lets him know. Fairley answers with his right hand, but Darian not done. Start of the second, opponent catches Darian's kick, but gets caught up along the cage where Weeks does damage with his uppercuts. Knee scores a knockdown, but Fairley still game. minute later in the clinch, Darian able to open up with his knees, earning a second knock, and stops it with the ground and pound. Comprehensive beatdown by Darian Weeks, good for victory number 5 in a row. Fourth finish from strikes earned a short notice debut against UFC veteran Brian Bam Bam Barberena. Although he tasted his first L, he gave a great account of himself in the cage. Now sophomore fight comes against undefeated in the future Garry, and no one's giving Weeks a chance. I think the wrestler will have something to say about that, and it's a can't miss bout going down at UFC 273, Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie.